we've had dildos since like ancient Egypt, but like this particular iteration.
Have we?
Oh yeah.
There were dildos in ancient Egypt?
Think about it. There's been dildos forever.
Lovers, I'm going on a date today with an author, Natalie Adler, who wrote Waiting on a Friend, which I coined an AIDS beach read. I just coined it. Let's go ask her some questions. This is Book Lovers. Natalie.
Ian.
You wrote a book.
I so did.
That is incredible.
Thank you.
No, truly.
I know. It is actually kind of crazy. And it, to the extent that now I no longer talk any shit about any other writers, especially not a debut writer, because it's like, damn, you really wrote that thing. You really did that. Wow.
Give me the elevator pitch of your book.
Young woman, I call her a young dyke about town, like downtown lesbian named Renata, and she has the ability to see ghosts. Loses her best friend to AIDS. She can see ghosts, so she hopes that she's going to see him. He doesn't show up, and she's searching for him.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do. I don't see them the way Renata does. She's a Scorpio.
Say less. Scorpios are intense.
They are. And I'm just the baby Libra.
Oh, you're a Libra?
Yeah.
That's what we get along with Sagittarius.
Oh, love, 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 love.
Describe this book in 3 words.
I'm going to actually take from you, which is AIDS beach read.
I did call this an AIDS beach read. I stand by it.
Well, here's what I think, because when we say a beach read, a lot of times people take that to mean frivolous, but like it's not a cozy book, but it is a book that is going to like keep you like turning the pages, right?
Yes.
And that's what you want on the beach. You want to just like keep turning them pages.
And that's what I meant. I kept turning the pages.
Yeah.
A lot of books about the time period are really heavy, and you know going in, like, it's going to wreck you. And this, it does wreck you at times, but it also is a page turner. And when you were writing it, is that something you were conscious of?
Yeah, I really paid a lot of attention to tone and tonal shifts because I knew that this is a big group of friends, which means that they're messy, which means that even in the midst of like grief and suffering and sickness, they're still like having sex, going out dancing, gossiping, shit talking. I wanted a book that kind of had that feeling of like a big group of friends and like that messy quality. Even in the midst of grief, there is still like the pure joy of living.
Why did you want to tell a ghost story here?
I wanted to talk about the AIDS crisis as a ghost story because I wanted to show that, you know, those we lost are still with us, and not always just because they're our loved ones, but because they're the people we've shared a city with and would still be sharing a city with if they were still here.
You obviously had to do a lot of research for this. What is the most embarrassing thing you had to Google?
There's a moment in the novel where Renata is boiling her dildo, which is like a typical way to give it a nice clean. Yeah.
No, you have to boil them.
Yeah.
Soap and water does not
It doesn't
do
it. If you have the same partner and you're a little lazy,
don't get lazy in a relationship.
Don't get
okay?
lazy.
It takes 5 minutes to boil water.
Yes.
Like, you can do it, people. You can do it.
I had to look up when silicone dildos were in common usage. She's strapped up, so I was like, does that make sense for 1984? Would she have this particular tool in her chest?
That's not, you don't even think about that. But yeah, like, was that around back then?
Yeah, you got to think about everything. We've had dildos since like ancient Egypt, but like this particular iteration.
Have we?
Oh yeah.
There were dildos in ancient Egypt?
Think about it. There's been dildos forever, but like as plastic, as like mass produced.
Yeah, because plastic was recent. That was like in the 1900s.
Right.
Like in ancient Egypt, wood?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Ow.
I know.
Or like
wood,
stone.
glass, stone.
Some people
marble?
probably died.
Yeah. Get a little infection from like a splinter.
Not worth it.
Not worth
Not
it.
worth it. What was the most surprising thing that you learned in your research about the time period?
What we come to think of as the AIDS crisis does not necessarily have the same clear beginning or end, for that matter, that we might think about colloquially. It doesn't necessarily begin. Actually, today's the anniversary. We're filming this on July 3rd. So July 3rd is actually the anniversary of the New York Times headline in Rare Cancer Found in 41 Homosexuals, which was the first mainstream reporting about the AIDS crisis.
That was today?
That's today. It's July 3rd. And it's the 45th year anniversary of that. So that is the marker of AIDS breaching like mainstream awareness in this way, but it's not necessarily like the beginning of the crisis. So I guess the thing that was most surprising to me was to realize that what we think of as the AIDS crisis is like longer and more complicated than we might know on a mainstream level.
Your protagonist is a woman,
Yes.
a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to learn about the role of lesbians during the AIDS crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's not just because like I am a lesbian, I'm a Jewish lesbian. The main character is like a Jewish lesbian. But like, you know, part of me wanted to do something that was like, if I had been alive at this time, not that I'm very much like Renata, the main character, but if I had been alive at this time, like how would I have been moving through the world? There were a lot of lesbians very active during, in like caretaking and activism during the AIDS crisis. And it's true that lesbians don't necessarily get their due in history as much, and so I wanted to add to that record.
If you were gonna do a movie,
Oh my God,
who would star?
Hannah Einbinder. If you're watching this, she could like do the hell out of Renata. She could be a dyke about town.
She would be great in this role.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega, I think, could do a little bit more goth. But I actually read something that Jenna Ortega wrote about her grandfather dying of AIDS and like how it's really important to her. Yeah, those are the kind of actresses I see that could really like fill those roles.
I love it. It's gonna happen.
Let's hope.
If someone was gonna pick up a book this weekend, why should they pick up your book?
You should pick up this book if you are looking for historical fiction that feels contemporary, and if you are looking for like a very unapologetically queer novel, and if you want to feel everything, if you want to like have a good time but also have a little cry and get angry and remember your loved ones and do all that. Okay,
if your book came with a warning label, what would it say?
A character uses a dildo in this book. No, I think it would actually be like there's fucking in this book. There's queer sex in this book. There are things that might make you uncomfortable. I mean, if you know that it's an AIDS book, you know you have an assumption that there's going to be dealing with sickness and death. But like also understanding that like the sick body could also be like an erotic body, I think can make people uncomfortable. Because we want to think about sick people just in one way, which is like, oh, that's tragic. But like, no, you are alive until you're not. And this book suggests maybe a little after too.
Natalie, I truly love this book. I couldn't put it down. This is an amazing debut.
Thank you.
It made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me want to go partying in New York City again, which is a beautiful thing. Thank you for writing it. I can't wait to read more about you.
Thank you so much. This has been so fun. I love yapping with you.
It's the best.
It is the best.